So, I'm here now at the Central Luzon Integrated Ecology Center, and I'm looking for one of our alumni din sa UP Baguio who I haven't seen for a long time, and who I will be interviewing because she is a medical physicist. My name is Ian. I love to travel, meet new people, and learn new things. Come and join me in this new adventure. Walk with me, and hopefully, through my eyes, you find your eureka moment. Here we have the physics room and Melay.
Hi!
Long time no see.
Welcome!
Ang tagal na nung huli tayong nung nagkita. Kailan ba yung last time na nagkita tayo?
Well, aside from nag-send kami ng invitation para sa 2016, graduation, 2008.
Graduation. Oo. Tagal
na.
Hindi marami ang nakakaalam kung anong meron sa Isabela, di ba? So,
Yes.
so galing ka ulit sa...
Cabagan, Isabela. So, northern part of the Philippines. Very small town. So, pag nag-visit ka doon, pag sinabi mo yung last name, ihahatid ka na kung saang bahay. Ganun ka small.
So, magkakilala kayo lahat. Tapos, ilang kayo magkakapatid ulit?
10.
10, tas ikaw yung...
Pang-9.
Pang-9, okay. Being the 9th out of the 10th, meron bang expectation sa'yo academically or... Kasi syempre yung mga ate mo before you, mga kuya mo before you, di ba?
Indirectly siguro meron kasi tama si Sir Yan, may mga ate ako at kuya na talagang nag-perform well sa academics nila. And having a parent na hindi kasi graduate yung parents ko from college. So education is one very important thing na kailangan naming makuha talaga as siblings. So yung parents ko very strict when it comes to academics. So by 6-7 p.m. sa household, walang television na. Everyone's expected to do their assignment, reading books. Kasi very important sa kanila yung makapagtapos kaming lahat.
How would you consider your performance simula pagkabata and as you went to high school and then college?
I think average lang. Hindi naman ako yung gustong maging valedictorian. Hindi.
Pero naging valedictorian din.
May mga with honors naman. Pero siguro because of the influence of my sisters and brothers nga, going to like taking exams for Philippine Science High. So, ganun din yung gusto kong level. And taking UP, passing UP. So, gusto ko ganung level din. Nung kinder, actually yung mother ko yung mas active sa pag-push sa akin on achieving things. So, gusto niya laging may awards, ganun. So, even sa singing, drawing. Sinasali ako. So, one time, parang sinali niya ako sa drawing contest, kinder yata. Pagka-present namin ng output namin, ako yung drawing ko stick, yung iba parang 3D. So, ganun ka-confident yung mother ko sa akin. Pero, gusto niya lagi, laging may award. Pero, it's good. It's good naman.
Ano yung mga naging struggles mo as a student?
Growing up, ang maganda, having a big family. No, so may mga ate at kuya na maraming libro naman, nandyan na yung Tisiwag, Lithol, nakakalat eh. So, kumbaga, somehow may edge kasi may nagtuturo. But being in Philippine Science, nandun ka na sa school, ang gagaling pala ng mga kaklase ko. So, doon nag-start yung pag-work ko very hard sa school. Kasi it's something na dapat magstay ako especially sa Philippine Science High. Doon ko naramdaman yung matinding pressure of understanding and really passing all the exams hanggang makagraduate ng Philippine Science High. Mahirap siya, actually mahirap. So there was a time na umiiyak ako kasi hindi ko ma-solve yung problem. So hindi ko siya makuha. Talagang hindi ako makatulog. So tawag ako sa ate ko. Pumunta sila sa akin from UP to Pisay just to check kung paano ko makuha yung ganun ako katindi pag hindi ko makuha yung sagot. I really have to find ways na bakit ito hindi ko makuha yung sagot eh. So anong mali?
Ganun din naman ang pagkakilala namin sa iyo nung college. So determined ka talaga na matutunan yung mga subjects. Did you have the same struggles pagdating sa college? Kasi syempre ibang environment yung college, diba? Ibang level din.
Yeah, sa college, lighter I think. Siguro, may factor yung graduating from Philippine Science High somehow.
Yeah.
But for the major subjects, oo naman. Ang hirap ng mga major subjects. So, yung basta mapasa mo na lang. Hindi na yung para maging cum laude, para maging laude, hindi na eh. For me. Kasi first year pa lang, sa batch namin, ilan ba kami? 39. Second year, na-cut na into half. So, for me, back then, okay. So, ang goal ko na lang talaga is, just to understand, of course, really to understand and pass it. But, yung maging uno siguro, parang...
Pero graduate ka naman ng cum laude, di ba?
Cum laude ba?
Ewan ko sa'yo.
Hindi ko maalala. Pero yung master's, oo. I think, konting digit na lang eh. Like, 0.0 something. Hindi, pero maraming, I think, nag-university scholars ako ng several times. Oo.
Okay.
Hindi ko, yun nga eh, I think na-enjoy ko yung college. I didn't really mind yung getting really high grades as long as I understand and pass all the subjects.
Naisip mo na ba kung ano yung magiging path mo or career na gusto mong patunguhan at some point during your academic life?
Yeah, during my college years, hindi ko pa makita exactly kung ano yung job ko, pero knowing kung nasaan yung ate ko, at least yung isang ate ko, doing his master's, somehow, ganun din yung pathway ko.
So kailan mo na isip na mag-take ka ng master's sa medical physics?
Yung isa kong sister, naka-receive ng letter from DOST. And then I asked her to open it. Yun nga, si DOST may offer ng mga master's degree programs.
Okay.
Included doon yung medical physics.
Okay.
And then, nung minention niya sa akin, yun, I check it out, and then binasa ko talaga, it's something na gusto ko yatang itry.
Yeah.
So, nag-inquire ako, and then nag-submit ng application sa UST.
Yeah.
Since UST lang yung merong program ng medical physics
At
back
the time.
then. And then, na-accomplish ko naman lahat ng requirements. And then that was it. Nag-resign ako sa BPO and then enrolled master's degree under the DOST then. So,
okay. And how did you find it? I mean, nagustuhan mo ba siya? Yung ilang years siya? 2 years to?
2 years siya. Pumasok ako second sem. Ang galing lang kasi yung second sem na subjects, may agad eh. aside from the classroom setup,
Yeah.
may clinical rotation agad.
Yeah.
So, na-expose ako agad sa healthcare setting.
Oh.
So, that was it. Nung nag-clinical rotation sa MedFee program, and nakikita ko yung actual patients, undergoing treatments.
Yeah.
So, yun na yun. I realized, okay, it's something I really want.
Oh.
So, tinuloy ko na, and I really work hard to understand the topics kasi it's something new also medical physics. Back then nung college, hindi ko siya kilala, hindi ko siya alam.
Actually, walang gaano nakakakilala. At saka kakaunti lang ang medical physicist, tama ba, nung time na yon?
Yes, sir. Kakaunti lang.
And, pero yung demand ba nung time na yon ay mataas na? For medical physicists?
I think mataas na rin kasi ilang hospitals na rin merong radiation therapy facilities and iilan lang yung graduates.
Oo.
So, kaya if I'm not mistaken, pag-graduate pa lang ako ng medical physics program, na-hire na ako sa isang hospital sa Batangas. So,
Okay.
that was my first job as a medical physicist.
Okay.
So, graduating pa lang ako nun sa medical physics program.
Okay, good. Anong naging trabaho mo dun sa ano?
So, yung first job ko, medical physics position na rin siya. Pero syempre, as a junior position. So, I have 2 senior medical physicists na gumagawa na ako ng treatment planning ng mga patients. And then, quality assurance checks ng mga equipment, especially machine. Umaabot talaga kami ng madaling araw doing some testing. Madalas yun actually, every weekend. So, isa yun sa mga somehow magandang training for me. Kasi lahat talaga na somehow nahawakan ko yung all equipment and services dun sa Cancer Institute na yun.
Wala ka pang patients na minamanage nung time na yun?
Wala pa na, may actual patients pero more on yung senior physicist ko yung gumagawa. So, nandun ako observing them and then they would also teach me how to do those things. And then, eventually, naging independent ako on doing all those things kasi nag-transition din yung 2 senior physicists ko sa Manila.
Yeah.
So, for a time, naiwan na kong isang medical physicist doon. So, okay din kasi complete naman yung training ko from them.
Ilang taong ka nag-stay doon?
3 years. 3 years sa Batangas. And, nag-enjoy din talaga ako.
May struggles din ba? Or, kasi, syempre, lumipat ka na naman sa ibang city, di ba? Tapos,
Oo, from the struggle talaga yun. Kasi hindi pa ako graduate nun sa MedFee program, right? So, tinatapos ko pa ilang subjects. So, talagang binabalance ko yung time ko. After work, like 4 p.m., aalis na ako sa center and then would go to UST. Hahabulin ko yung class.
wow.
So, for ilang months din na ganun. And then, natapos ko naman. And then, of course, yung thesis, actual set up siya ng center namin, yung thesis ko. And then, I think isa rin sa mga big challenges talaga yung weekends nakakain sa time. Syempre yun yung una kong job. I really take it very serious.
Of course.
As in lahat ng mga manuals, I make sure na tama kung sinusundan. And lahat ng mga regulatory requirements, kino-comply ko, and even yung mga trainings, ayaw ko magkamali kasi
Mm.
yung job namin is very crucial sa patients,
Yep.
sa buhay ng tao.
Yeah.
Kaya I really took it seriously.
Yeah.
Especially yung first year ko, second year ko, talagang kung walang tulugan, hindi ako matutulog ng 1-2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
but after 3 years doon sa Batangas, ba't mo na-decide na lumipat?
Lumipat.
Oh.
So, after 3 years, yung mga doctors na kasama ko sa Batangas, they are the same group of doctors who are starting a project here in Pampanga.
Oh, okay.
So, naghahanap talaga sila ng isa pang medical physicist na mag-set up dito sa Pampanga. And ako yung ni-recommend nila para mag-transfer dito. And that was also the time na may gusto akong pasukan na big hospital. Dream hospital ko siya, parang gano'n. So, same week of the month yung offer, but I really had to pray hard and decide well kung saan ako pupunta after Batangas. So, I asked advice from my Ate Pet, and sabi niya, i-weigh mo mga pros and cons. And so nilista ko between 2 hospitals. Ang dami talagang benefits dito sa Dream Hospital ko versus going to another province which is Pampanga. Nung night na yon, may burden lang talaga sa akin na walang kumukuha ng position sa Pampanga. And they are already starting the project. So, they really need help dito sa probinsya. So, yun yung parang pagising ko, all of a sudden, nag-iba yung decision ko. Okay, sige, doon na lang ako sa Pampanga since they really need help here in the province. Ang dami naman na nila talagang physicist doon sa hospital na yon. Ang una kong plan is just to set up the cancer center for a year, and then would go back to Manila and still pursue yung dream hospital ko. Pero I ended up staying for 9 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, 9 years. Oo.
And tawag dito, nagsisisi ka ba?
Hindi naman, hindi. Actually, hindi ko nakita na mas marami palang naging benefits. Mas marami ako naging benefits dito. Personally, career-wise, and yung growth ko. Siyempre, being the only medical physicist who started the project, alone lang talaga. So, I have to start from scratch. I have to learn everything. Yung mga regulatory requirements, and lahat talaga. From the building to machine testing na ibang machine to eh. It's the first Tomo HD in the Philippines. And nung lumipat ako dito, I didn't know na training din pala ako sa US. So, pinaayos agad yung visa ko. And then, after a month, pinadala na ako sa US for a training. Doon mismo sa manufacturing company ng machine. Doon ko natutunan yung lahat ng physics essentials and treatment planning to operate the machine. And pag uwi ko, it just feels so good na somehow tumutulong ka na mag-start ng isang cancer center dito sa Pampanga. Ang ganda lang ng career growth and even yung personal growth ko, syempre. From parang before, akala ko naglalaro lang ako sa workplace. Pero ngayon, managing and supervising the people in the cancer center. So, iba talaga, iba na yung yung level. It's a big responsibility.
And also a fulfillment.
A fulfillment, yes. Oo.
Which is very good thing.
So, tingnan natin yung mga machines na meron kami dito sa facility and yung mga tools na gamit ko as medical physicist kung ano yung ginagawa ko dito sa center.
Yeah, that would be a good thing para ma-inspire yung ating mga viewers.
Okay.
Okay.
So, this is our first project in 2014. So, we started with one radiation machine. And dito nag-start ang life ko sa Pampanga. And it's just a small department, pero we can accommodate as much as 65 patients a day.
Wow.
So
Dito lang to?
Dito
Iba pa
lang.
yung sa kabila?
Iba pa yung sa kabila, sir. So, dito na yung waiting area ng mga patients namin. It's very simple. Pero, again, yung mga walls natin and even yung mga doors natin with LED sheets yung mga yan.
Oh, so may LED, may LED linings
May-
tong mga to.
And yung cement din is depende sa area, yung kapal nung wall natin. And ito yung control room namin. But right now, wala nang patients. And dito kami nagsimula with only 4 RadTech, sir, and isang oncology nurse. Right now, we have 9 RadTech, 3 oncology nurses, and mga coordinators and other patient care personnel. So, a total of 16 heads na sinusupervise ko as of the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. And pasok tayo sa first physics room. First physics room ko. So, we make sure na we always wear this badge to make sure na lahat ng areas na pinupuntahan namin, ito would detect kung ilang radiation yung nare-receive namin a month and a year. So, ito, mga workstations ko, for the first 2-3 years, ako lang mag-isang physicist dito. And lahat nito, mga workstations ko. Ito yung lumang contouring system ko. So, ito na yung bago. We call it the MIM software.
Yeah.
So, dito kami nag-identify ng mga organs at risk and yung mga target organs namin.
Yeah.
And this one is one of the latest in the market. So, before, we manually contour, Sir Ian, yung mga organs. Like, for example, the left lung. So, before we used to do it manually, isa-isa. Yan. Tapos next, so just imagine, for a breast case, maraming organs ang kailangan mong spare. So, you have to identify lahat yon and you contour it manually. But, with the help of AI, and we really maximize it, we can actually do auto-segmentation. So, bahala na si software mag-contour. No? So, yan lang, we have to do. Yan. And then, meron lang mga templates, like the right breast for this case. And then, that's it. We have to wait lang until the software finishes identifying all the organs.
Typically, gano'n ka talaga?
Mabilis lang, patapos na yan.
Ayan na.
Oo, inaayos pa.
Okay.
And then, you can do it simultaneously kahit ilang patients. And pagbalik mo, pwede ka magtimpla ng kape. Pagbalik mo, tapos na yung pag-identify ng organs. So, yan yung isa sa mga minamaximize naming tools dito sa department. So as you can see, na-identify niya na yung mga organs na
Hindi
kailangan.
lang isang picture, layer by layer pa.
Yes, layer by layer. And as a physicist, syempre, you have to check lang yung gawa niya and then you approve it. No? And pag may mga kailangan i-edit, you just have to modify it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yun doon ka na nag-manual correction.
Yes, manual correction.
Wow.
So, yun. And then, after doing the contouring, we transfer it to the planning station, same dun sa kabila. Dun kami nagka-calculate ng amount ng dose na binibigay sa target and then kung paano namin ini-spare yung mga normal organs.
Yeah.
And then after achieving the desired dose sa specific case, we asked for the approval of the doctor. Pag okay na lahat, we transfer it to the treatment delivery.
Yep. And
that's the time yung mga RadTech naman, ibibigay na yung radiation sa patient.
okay.
So, this is our control room. Usually, dito yung mga radiation technologists natin, kaming medical physicists, monitoring the patient while undergoing treatment. And this is our control console. And pasok tayo sa loob, sir.
Yep.
So, this is not a usual door, okay? As you can see, sobrang bigat niya. Kasi may mga sheets of lead to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this whole room is, tawag dito, protected from
Radiation.
Oo.
Yes. So,
Or
tara.
actually, we're being protected.
Yes, from radiation. And part yan ng role natin as medical physicists to compute the bunker wall
Yeah.
for shielding computation.
So
Making sure na walang nagli-leak na radiation sa public exposure, sa patient, and even occupational exposure. So, this is the Radisac machine. It's the first in the country,
Yeah.
this radiation therapy machine. So, these are the common tools I use to make sure that the radiation being emitted from this machine is safe for the patients. So, ang tawag namin dito, cheese phantom.
Yeah.
So, it's a phantom. So, pag nagte-test ako ng patient, so yung minimeasure ko na mga kinakalculate kong radiation, amount of radiation sa patient, I would simulate it here, and then dito ko i-beam on, and then I have here the detector,
Yeah.
the A1SL detector. So, ito yung usual tools na ginagamit natin for the verification of the dose. And marami pang tools like the water phantom na ginagamit natin depending on the need, no? Like, and we also have yung frequency ng tests, like the monthly, the weekly, daily, and the annual tests na pina-follow natin according to the standard guidelines.
Typically, dito nilalagay yung pasyente.
Patient, yes sir. Typically, dito humiga yung patient. Pwedeng yung ulo yung mauna or yung paa, depende sa case. And here in Clio, we can treat whatever kind of cancer case as long as it needs radiation. Whether it be superficial, yung mababaw lang na tumor, or even yung deeply seated, yung mga nasa loob, we can treat that in this machine. And this Radisac machine also has a big bore. So, usually kasi ang problem is yung mga malalaking patients. Since etong Radisac has a big bore, that's not a problem anymore. So, pwedeng pumasok even yung mga big patients natin. And itong Radisac machine, especially itong bunker natin, usually dapat nasa right room conditions, like the temperature must be kept within 21 to 22 degrees kasi very sensitive yung machine natin to room conditions. And even yung humidity natin must be checked regularly. Kaya may mga dehumidifiers tayo nasa gilid collecting waters kasi usual problem ng machine pag may moist yung mga electrical components pwedeng magkaroon ng problem. Yeah, we're expecting 60, 65, 70 patients a day.
Day, wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
cumulatively
Before 30 days.
for a year, marami talaga tayong natitreat dito sa cancer center.
Marami kayo natutulungan talaga.
Marami tayong natutulungan.
That's good.
So ito sir, this is an example of a breast cancer case. So yung technology natin na meron dito sa facility is capable of acquiring images before treatment delivery. So ito yung tinatawag nilang image-guided radiation therapy. So before giving the radiation, we make sure na accurate yung position ng patients. So we acquire CT images muna before delivering the radiation. So right now, we are acquiring the CT images. Yung current position niya, i-compare namin sa CT simulation position niya. So we have to make sure na at least less than 3 mm yung margin of error. So right now, ayan, chine-check ng tech natin yung this is the CT simulation, this is the original position. Ito yung current position ng patient, itong blue. So dapat pareho yung CT sim position sa current position niya.
Ano yun? CT?
CT simulation
CT
position
simulation.
niya.
Oh.
Ito yung original and then ito yung actual ngayon ng patient.
Nakukuha niyo yung simulation from the laser? Or-
Yes, nag-start sila ng position from the laser. So dun yung guide nila kanina nung pinosisyon yung patient. So, ayan. And then, we would see kung ilang mm yung pag-position ng RadTech. For example, nung hiniga yung patient, ilang yung correction. So, minsan may movement of 5 mm. Ayan, katulad ng ginagawa ni Sir Mike, i-move niya downwards yung patient kasi medyo mas mataas. And then, until almost the same yung position.
So, may yung stage yung nag-move bale? Yung kinilalagyan niya o?
Yes, yung couch.
Couch yung tawag nyo doon?
Yung couch, oo. Yung tawag natin doon. And then, like, for this case, sige Mike, i-roll mo. Ayan. Kailangan i-roll kailangan i-correct yung patient. Ayan. So, kailangan i-roll. So, ang tawag dito is the image-guided radiation therapy. Ayan. So, ito makikita mo yung mga translational adjustments na 0.5, 7 mm, and 1.2 mm. Sige. And then, if you're okay with it na, which is nandun yung heart, nandun yung lungs, andun yung tatamaan, you would accept the registration. But, ang maganda dito sa technology natin ngayon, before, yung mga conventional linac, the RadTech would go inside and adjust manually. Like, kunwari may adjustment ng 7 mm to the left, so mag-a-add or subtract yung RadTech from the current position hanggang sa ma-adjust niya yung 7 mm. But with this, yung corrected translational adjustment, i-click mo lang yung accept and then the couch itself will move towards that corrected position. So, that way, yun na yung correct position ng patient natin. Ayan. Sige, Mike. Ayan. Medyo makikita mo rin na may changes na sa patient kasi looks like pumayat. So, in cases like mga nasopharyngeal carcinoma, mga lung cancer na makikita mo rin through image-guided radiation technology, makikita mo yung kung anong nangyayari sa tumor. So, pwedeng lumiit and that way, we will adjust the plan.
Okay.
So, ang effect nun sa patient is, for example, ganito kalaki yung tumor niya initially dahil nakita mo through the current images, lumiit, for example, so lumiit yung tumor, so yung normal tissue surrounding the tumor, mas may spare mo
Oo.
by adjusting the plan.
Oo. Tapos ginagawa niya, so yung pasyente nag-undergo ng ganito araw-araw?
Every day. So we do
for 30 days?
for 30 days.
So,
But iba-ibang case. Iba-ibang
Oo,
case.
syempre.
Yan. So, that's it. Sige, okay. Those were the corrected position. So, si Mike, he can just click the setup and then the couch will move towards that position, corrected position na. And then we can treat the patient. Before kasi, nung wala pang introduction ng image-guided radiation therapy, we just make sure na tama yung laser and position ng patient, and then ihiga yung patient doon, and then we would deliver the radiation. But now, with the latest advancement in radiation therapy, we have these techniques to accurately deliver the radiation. So, mga ganitong technology din, mabibilis na. And ang Radisac, specifically this machine, sir, yung beam niya mismo is merong 360 degrees na freedom para umikot. So, habang nag-move yung patient papasok, no, umiikot na yung radiation, delivering the radiation to the patient. So, nag-move inside yung patient, umiikot yung radiation, mas mabilis yung treatment. Compared to before na discrete yung angle, dito muna. So, magbibigay ng radiation and then another angle. And then, papaikutin sa likod yung linak. So, mas matagal. But with the recent advancement nga in radiation therapy, mas mabilis na ngayon yung treatment and at the same time, mas accurate. And so, as you can see, this is the actual movement of the linak. Umiikot siya. Ayan. And also with Radisac, yun nga, mas mabilis din. Mas mabilis yung pag-acquire ng images compared to sa mga conventional linak na minsan ilalabas mo pa yung panel, parang x-ray ilalabas mo yung mga dating conventional machine, parang x-ray, ilalabas mo yung panel and then tsaka ka magbibigay ng x-ray para makuha mo yung image ng patient na nakahiga. And then, before, ide-develop pa yun sa dark room.
So ang tagal.
So, imagine mo, pag mali pa yung pag-develop ng tech. So, ang ginagawa, i-treat muna yung patient. Ito yung mga unang pag-treat muna yung patient and then kinabukasan, dapat pala yung position. So, hindi real time. But with this one, it's real time. And yun nga yung maganda. You can see kung ano nangyayari sa tumor ng patient. Yan. So, here in CLIOC, Central Luzon Integrated Oncology Center, usually ang breast case natin, mga 6-7 minutes lang yung treatment.
Okay.
So, since kaka-open lang ng Radisac machine natin last week, no, we are expecting, since we have the older version of this, we can treat up to 60-65 patients a day. We are expecting na since mas mabilis, mas marami tayong ma-accommodate na patient. Which is good kasi hindi na mag-aantay ng matagal yung mga patients natin dito sa facility. Yun naman yung kinagandahan having an advanced radiation therapy machine. So, ayan, the radiation is already currently being delivered and makikita mo rin dito kung ilang percent yung dinideliver ng machine. Like, in case of mawalan ng kuryente or any interruption, ang galing din ng technology. Before, sir, mano-mano ka magko-compute kung ilan na lang yung naiwan. But with this, once interrupted yung procedure, meron na siyang ibibigay na kung ilang percent yung remaining, i-deliver mo na lang.
Okay. So wala siya parang UPS na...
We have the eto, may
yan.
UPS tayo, oo. So it can, it can last, na experience natin, no? Walang kuryente buong araw. Nakakapag-treat naman ng maraming pasyente, sir.
Okay.
Oo. Yan. Buti na lang may actual patient pala tayo.
Oo, galing. Yeah. Thank you. That was a very good tour, and now naintindihan ko na mas mabuti kung ano talaga yung ginagawa mo dito, kung gaano kadami yung mga tao na tinutulungan mo at natutulungan mo, gaano kalaking fulfillment ito para sa iyo at para dun din sa mga tao na tinutulungan mo, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sa community, especially sa community natin
Yeah.
sa Pampanga. And I really hope na marami pang cancer centers ang matayo sa bansa natin, and para magkaroon ng access yung mga kapwa nating Pilipino, especially
Yeah.
sa malalayong lugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alam mo ba kung ano yung word na ikigai? Ikigai.
Ikigai.
Yeah. It's a Japanese word, meaning yung purpose mo sa buhay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say na would you say na nakita mo ba yung ikigai mo?
Yes, definitely. Usually natetest din yan pagdating sa hardship, struggle,
Yeah.
sa disappointment and discouragement.
Yeah.
And pag dumadating ako sa mga point na yon, I would just remind myself of my purpose here.
Yeah.
And yun, babalik na ako ulit. Balik tayo sa work. We are really helping a lot. And this is really a fulfillment na makatulong lang sa mga pasyente and sa community dito sa Pampanga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. So thank you very much, Melay, for taking the time. And I hope merong nakuha yung ating mga viewers dito, and I hope that they found their eureka moment.
Yes. Thank you din, Sir Ian. Thank you sa pagdalaw sa akin dito.
No problem. Tagal na rin eh. Thank you. If you have any questions regarding sa career na pinili ni Melay, you're welcome to get in touch, leave a comment, and also don't forget to like and subscribe.